What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome. Uh, Tonight, maybe it'll be a pretty interesting show, depending on if anyone wants to join. Again, I want to preface this. Tonight is a first time ever for me, a panel show that I am hosting. Okay, so again, first time ever. I'm gonna have to get the hang of it. I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. So, the rules or whatever. I'm gonna pretty much decide on the fly. Um, the link, right? If you want to join, is in the chat. So if you want to join, right? If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, and you want to give some opinions on the videos I'll show tonight, you can. You don't have to. But if you do, right, I'm down for it. I do want to say this. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm open to. I'm not saying that I'm no scholar or anyone that's like a professional debater or whatever. But I'm always down for a conversation. So that's what I mean, a conversation. If you're going to, again, this is my show, right? This is my show. So if you are going to have a conversation with me, debate with me, cool. But if you want to start shooting, I don't know, slurs or insults at me, I don't need that, right? That's something you can keep in the comments, okay? If you want to insult me, cool. Keep that in the comments. If you come on and you just want to insult me instead of having a actual respectful conversation, then don't join, right? Don't come. I will reserve the right to, if you're going to start to insult me or whatever, I'm definitely going to kick you off, right? I'm going to, you're out. Okay. Now, speaking to the people who would want to join and just want to react or agree with me, or I know sometimes my chat can be a bit harsh and stuff. I would say this: keep the insults or whatever things that you may say about women or whatever to a minimum. I really don't want to promote that on video. You could say things you want on in the chat, in the comments. That's cool, but if you're going to say something, please keep it to a bit respectful. Okay. I just don't want to promote that kind of image. Okay. I mean, it's cool that it's in the chat or in the comments. That's cool. But I don't want, coming on here and we're just calling women names and stuff. I don't think that's needed. So if you want to react, you want to give your opinions, that's cool. If you want to insult women or people, we don't need that, right? We don't need that, especially particularly on video, right? It's not one I'm trying to promote. But yeah, again, this is news for me. Okay. I've never done this. So things will be on the fly. Okay. So if people do want to join, this is the opportunity. Like I said, StreamYard, I don't pay for it. So I'm using the free version. I only have a set amount of hours. So if this is popular, know that I only do this maybe once or twice a month, because you only get a certain amount of hours if you are doing the free version. And since I ain't paying for it because this is only a hobby, it is what it is. But yeah, tonight's the night. Okay, tonight's the night. If you disagree with me, tonight's the night to voice your opinions and we can have a respectful conversation. If you agree, you want to give your opinions on any of the videos I watch, cool. We could do that. Right? I don't mind to shoot the shit with my my subscribers, my followers, my viewers. I'm down for that. But yeah, let's get started. Let's start with a video, right? Let's get the ball rolling with a video. Hopefully you guys like it. I mean, if you guys don't, we'll go back to how we regularly do it, because I know I'm a small channel, so I don't to have a bunch of people joining a panel. It's probably not that common, but it's cool. All right, let's get started. Okay. All right. All right. Let's check this one out.
Universal means across the board, unbiased. It's not to be determined based off of what is conditional for you or what is conditional for you. Is it right or is it wrong?
Well, it's the law of first mention. And
was it right or was it wrong?
Mentioning, not at the time, because if you look at the 5 books of the Talmud, the law of Moses given to him by the Lord, it stated you cannot marry your brother or sister. That was after Abraham was already existed. So there was no law.
Correct. Those laws were given after that.
Exactly, because the law of first mention is what matters. The law of first mention.
I want to remind you what you said.
I know what I said.
You don't know what I'm about to say. You said God writes it on your heart.
Yes.
So you don't need any guidance from anybody, which is the reason why we got here in the first place, as far as the guidance that you have from your parents. Similarly to what we talked about when it came to the Mosaic Law. You said you know because God writes it on your heart. Not that you need anything from anybody else to be able to determine the difference between right or wrong, which is one of the reasons why we saying, is it universal or is it not? So if it's written on your heart, do you need any additional guidance because God is the ultimate light? Do you need additional guidance to be able to determine whether it's right or wrong?
Yes, because of what Adam did in the garden. We have sin nature. We're fallen by our nature. Meaning we're going to
is it right or is it wrong?
It's right.
Is right or wrong determined based off of the laws, or is it determined based off of what is written on your heart?
It's what God wrote on our heart. He wrote the laws on our heart.
So do you need additional guidance in order to determine right or wrong?
Yo, Smoke, what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing well tonight.
Adam walked with Jesus in the garden, and he still rebelled. So you're going to need it more.
We're not talking about whether he did wrong. I'm saying, do we know the difference between right and wrong?
He knew it was wrong to take the bite of the apple after Eve did it. He still did it because he chose Eve over God. He knew it was wrong. He still chose to do it.
I don't want you to get.
He knows.
I don't want you to move away from what we talked about.
I'm not moving away. The whole
You're saying. I want to remind you what you said. You said we universally understand the difference between right or wrong.
Yes.
And we don't need guidance from anybody because God writes it on our heart.
No, I said we need guidance. I remember I said we need a father and a mother.
Initially, you said we don't because God wrote it on our heart.
No, protection from the world. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I said you need protection from the world because you're in certain places you're not mature enough to understand, but yet you do know.
And then I asked you, was Abraham right for marrying Sarah? And you, or Sarai, however y'all want to pronounce it, and you said it was right for him.
Yeah, God told him to marry him. God also said that
Sarah. Is it universally right or wrong, or are things conditional based off of the circumstances?
No, it's God's mention. It's not based off the circumstances. It's God. God's the ultimate arbiter of what is true.
I can go and marry my sister.
Not according to what God said. You're also comparing.
Well, Abraham can marry his sister.
He was the first. You can't change.
Wait.
The law was written after Abraham that said you can't do this. So now you're either going to go.
It wasn't written on his heart. It was.
See, that's why I hate. That's why I'm not into religion, right? Because I've said this, right? I'm trying to promote this. I'm trying to promote more. Yo, Artie, what's up, my brother? I'm trying to promote logical morality. Logical morality. That's what I'm trying to promote. Where, let's say, the morals, right? The morals you have, it's based on logic, not based on a book, not based on how you feel, not that shit. Because honestly, religion, it's so, sometimes it's either so strict or so fluid, and that's ridiculous to me. Religion is because it's either you follow it 100% or you don't follow it at all. It's like, make it make sense. Make that make sense to me.
He was given okay by the Lord at that moment. It says
All right, so let's move forward. So the children of Israel. What about when God told them to go and slaughter everything? Was that right or wrong?
That was right because that was judgment.
Okay, so it was right. It wasn't universal. It was conditional based off of what God told them.
Well, God judges people through men. So God will bring the sword as judgment, which he does throughout the whole time.
Was it universal or was it conditional?
That's universally right when God judges. God's judgment is right. So if God's judgment is to drop a rock on your head,
No,
that's
but
right.
it's not broad across the board. It's according to whatever it is that he's dealing with that person.
It was judgment. It was because they were killing babies, they were burning them, and they were having indiscriminate sex. So it was judgment. He told them
I'm
to go
asking
wipe
you
them
a
all out.
blanket question. Was it right or wrong for them to go in and kill everything?
No, because it was God's judgment.
But it was
God
right
judged.
because God told them to do it.
Because God is the arbiter of right. Either God is or he isn't.
So it's not universal then.
It is universal if it's God's judgment. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Like if
So
you're
what about taking a wife at an age that's under 15, 14 years old?
well, that's what we deem right or wrong here in the culture. But certain places like Islam will say 9 years old.
No. We're talking about universally right or wrong. Is it right or wrong to take a wife under the age of 14, 13 years old?
Actually, isn't it? Somebody correct me about this in the old Mosaic law, but I think it's if they come of age of their flowering, which would be in that 13, 14 age. I think is
University is written on our heart.
Yeah.
Is it right or wrong
Yeah.
for us to take a wife under the age of 14 years old?
according to the law if they're mature now. According to the law, if they're
So-
14 or 15 and they're
It's not okay to take a wife under the age of 14, right?
according to the law, no. According to the Bible, no.
Just in general, that's just.
And that was also under a different.
I'm just trying to understand. The reason why I'm asking these
That was
questions,
under a different
the
dispensation.
reason why I'm asking these questions is because
It's a different.
I want to understand, is it universal and is it written on our heart, or is it important for us to have guidance? Because I tend to believe that the reason why we have parents is to establish the difference between good and bad, right or wrong. We are guided specifically by our parents. We are taught the difference of what goes on by our parents, and that's why it says that the children will suffer for the sins of their parents. And so I can't just in good conscience say that a person that was raised a specific way just knows the difference between right or wrong, because culturally, even if you want to talk about culturally here in the United States of America or culturally across the world, their standards may be different from our standards, and you cannot say that this is right over there because they don't believe in it. They don't abide by the same thing, and most of that stuff is not written in the word as far as how it is that we're supposed to abide by the law. And the nuance in it is what the laws are in that particular country or that particular nation.
Anton, to address exactly what you said,
And you
in
can't say that.
Romans 2:14, indeed, when Gentiles who do not have the law do by nature things required by the law, they are a law for themselves, even though they do not have the law. They show that the requirements of the law are written on their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, in their thoughts sometimes accusing them, and other times even defending them.
Exactly.
So that is
Specifically written to who? And this is another fancy. We got the right one today. We got the right one, right? Because again, you got to have the full context. You cannot take a verse in itself, by itself, without understanding what happened prior to and what happens afterwards, right? So I'll give you an example. A lot of times people will say, and thus saith the Lord, but they won't have the full context of who he was speaking to at that particular time, right? Jesus, for example, went inside of the church and turned over the tables. Tore up everything. But the reason why, if you just looked at that and then somebody just took that verse or what was happening at that particular time and then you took that out of context, that's why it says that he will give you preachers and pastors after his own heart. That is why he says in everything that you do, you get understanding, right? The requirements for what you are. I'll give you another example. What we deem as perfect for a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old and how it is that they're supposed to live their life, the qualifications is completely different from somebody that's 21 years old. And so the requirements on their life, the requirements for what it is that they're supposed to be doing on a daily basis is different from what the requirements are for a saint or for a person that is supposed to be doing something a certain type of way, right? Even if you want to talk about in the Bible, if you want to talk about the difference between the Jews and the Gentiles and the requirements for the Jews versus what it was for the Gentiles, versus in the New Testament where the Comforter is available for both the Jew and the Gentile alike, it is a completely different standard and a completely different requirement. So when you read these things, you have to give the additional context as to why they came about in the first place. Why was Paul writing to the Galatians as to why they should not be obeying the Mosaic law in the New Testament versus what the requirement was for the people that actually believed in the Mosaic law? Why was Paul being afflicted in the first place? And I don't want to make this Bible study, but people are not.
Well, let's do it. So,
people are not fully taken in the context of what was going on in the New Testament and the Old Testament.
So right there in Romans 2 that she brought up, what is the context there that in somewhat way doesn't fit what you were talking about?
No. I don't want y'all to get this. See, y'all trying to get distracted because y'all said that it was universally written on your heart.
What's the word says?
No.
That's the word.
Y'all said it was universal as far as what the difference is between right and wrong. I said, okay, well, why do you need parents, for example? Why is it that your parents, wait. If you automatically, universally knew exactly who your husband was supposed to be based off of what you thought was right and wrong, why did the father often in time pick the husband?
No, Anton, what we're saying.
That's not what I was saying. I wasn't saying that the parents have to be excluded from people's lives. We understand the parents definitely hold a purpose in cultivating the child to where the child can be able.
Yeah, Artie, if you want to join. I'm down. I'm just watching a video because, don't know if anyone's here. All right. If you want to join, you could join. I'm just watching whatever. I have some TikTok videos that, if you guys are interested, we can watch it and, see if we have what are your opinions on particular videos that I have saved up. So, yeah, I'm always down. If you guys want to check out some videos, right, give it thoughts. Because tonight, I always think that my audience prefer to talk about more about the dating scene, more about women. So, yeah, I have some videos, some TikTok videos that I thought would be interesting, right? We could watch it and react to it together. I think that'd be fun. The link is all up in the front. Let me paste that again. Let me paste it again.
To move forward in their life in a better fashion. Obviously, we understand that without all of the parents, this is why we're going through all this havoc, because of the lack of parenting and the lack of parents being in the home. We already know that. That's not what I was arguing. I'm not sure what, the brother's argument was.
You know the difference between right and wrong. Right?
No, I didn't say universally. He said universally. I said we have.
There's a lot of women that don't, and I'm talking about women that are young, that are at a young age. I'm not talking about 20-something, 30-something, 40-year-old women.
Okay, but when you say college, that's where I'm talking from. I'm speaking from college and going up. I'm not talking about like 15, 13-year-olds. I'm talking about what we were saying, like with college. You going in college, these women, the woman that was just on the video.
Start picking a bad boy in high school. Right. It don't start when they get to college. It's already there. It's already in them when they get to college.
That's true, but for some, Anton, like,
y'all acting like y'all didn't go to high school.
No, but Anton, I'm agreeing with you.
We definitely went to high school.
Because in high school, y'all was leaving with the college boys.
Let's really get to it. Did y'all make some bad decisions on the men that y'all was picking when y'all was in high school?
Yes, and then I learned from that and didn't.
Yes, and we saw enough women.
I'm about to say,
Why didn't you pick the guy that you were supposed to, the good guy in high school?
Because we rebel. We do
Well-
what we're supposed to do.
Well, for me, I was actually naive. I didn't know.
I get y'all already knew better, is what I'm saying.
It's our nature to sin.
No.
It's our nature
What
to go
did you have
against.
to learn from if you already knew better?
It's a,
Okay, but if it's in our nature to sin, we also got to think that we have to have the ability to discipline not to. That's the thing where we got to understand that, you know, I hate those things that it's an excuse. You're just doing excuses, right? You're just making excuses. I honestly believe that it's needless excuse.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. My experience is different. I'm speaking from my own experience. I always heard and would hear and see this. Let me not continue on with that. And I would get confirmation.
All right, I have a good buddy. All right, Artie. Artie's here. All right, so we will start on reacting to some TikTok videos together. So I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be interesting. So let's get it.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, I could. Hey, could you hear
Going
me?
on?
What's up, my brother?
Yeah. I'm a mute and I'm gonna move a little place quieter. I don't know how long you're gonna be on, but I definitely want to.
I'm usually on until like around 10:30. So I mean, if you want to get situated, it's cool.
Yeah, just give me like I'm a mute and then I'm gonna pop back in like maybe 30-40 seconds. But
All right.
yeah, I wanted to introduce something to the conversation.
We're down. All right.
Yeah, so I'm a mute and give me like 30 seconds. I'll be back on.
All right, no problem, brother.
After that.
Well, let's watch this a bit. Let's continue with this, and then when we get the chance, we'll react to some TikTok videos.
Huh? Okay, so from my experience, I liked sitting back more. I did have a couple of boyfriends in high school. It was literally only two, and one of them was good. The other one was bad. The first one was bad. Now, the reason why I didn't continue with wait, listen. You said what?
Why did you pick the bad one?
Honestly, at the time, I wanted somebody to talk to, and I was just really bored. I didn't have nothing going on for myself. I wasn't in extracurriculars. No, for real. I was stripped. No, listen. Anton, my family is different. I was stripped from doing extracurriculars. I didn't have nothing to really do.
Yeah, now it's coming full circle, Maya.
That's stupid. That's it. It's like, okay, I have nothing to do, so I entertain the bad boys. There are good men or good boys during high school too. If you had nothing to do, why didn't you not entertain those boys? It's kind of ridiculous.
You are naive, and you had to learn.
But it was because I chose. It wasn't because I did not know. It was because I chose that. It wasn't because I didn't have that choice.
Come on, Maya.
But you knew it was wrong, though.
Wait, what you said?
Why are you including your family in this? Why don't you just take 100% ownership and responsibility?
Right.
Wait, what do you mean?
You said, oh man, because my family stripped me of extracurricular activities. What is that supposed to mean?
No, what I'm saying is that took part in my thought process. I wanted something to do. I wanted to channel my energy.
You didn't pick the good guy, you picked the bad boy.
The first one, yes.
So because your family stripped you of extracurricular activities, you want to
No, I'm not saying that's because I was saying that was a part of the thought
So
process.
why you didn't pick the good boy?
There wasn't many that was like showing that they was interested in me. There was only the guy that was like, the street guy that was showing interest.
So you
And I was
Okay. Let's Artie, you good?
Yeah. I'm not too noisy, am I? Like, how's
No.
my audio sound? All right,
It's audio's not
I'm
bad. Audio's not bad.
all right, yeah. I ain't. I'm gonna pop like on and off, just cause I'm up here working. I'm actually getting ready to leave.
Bro, you call me at work? You crazy?
Look. If I'm calling you at work, evidently I ain't doing nothing important. But I just wanted to interject this in the conversation because I'm watching, and I love Anton's channel.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe with anybody who wants to have this conversation about religion is they always talk about it and give like overly religious people try to box people in with the words, but the words are always purposely vague. So
Yes.
where Anton brought it up to the guy, and the guy really didn't have no reaction to it. That's just me personally. I hate how it's so vague, like the things that are in the Bible, what it tells people to do. Because the Bible will say, love one another as God loved the church. And it's like, okay, well, if that's what you're telling me love is, cool. But what I didn't hear is gift one another like that. I didn't hear buy trips for one another. I didn't hear buy diamonds, pearls, give money. And so that's the biggest thing. And for me, I do the pop the balloon reviews, right? And when women come on and they say like, oh, I want a God-fearing man, this, that, and the fourth, I always say like, it's a big red flag and it's a time to walk away the moment you hear that, because they want to hold you to a standard that's purposely vague. In that example I just gave you, where it's all one-sided. So a woman will say, I want you to be a God-fearing man. Cool, I'll be a God-fearing man. But does me being a God-fearing man treat you overly? Does me being a God-fearing man overly praise you when you're doing wrong, or do I have to be a God-fearing man and give you gifts? Because that's not what God told men to do. You see what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
that's the biggest gripe that I have with people, or not people per se, but when I hear the conversations on love and religion in terms of relationships and marriage, because it's always vague for the guy to do. But when it comes down to the things that they are very specific in that book that women are to do, well, then they just get to walk away from it,
Exactly. I mean, of course, you guys have seen my Kendra G reactions with all the women that constantly said, I want a God-fearing man. But these are usually baby mamas, right? These are usually single mothers. These are usually older women that has had plenty of, plenty of sex. So these women, and this is why a lot of men have really turned their back on religion, because honestly, how religion is nowadays, it is used to shackle men to the words of God. While if you want to pretty much turn it around to women would say, oh, everyone has a past, everyone sins, all this stuff. Well, then what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of using the word of God when honestly they themselves, women who usually, because in my honest opinion, I rarely hear a man says he want a woman of God, or a man that shackles a woman to the words of God. But women do it often. They constantly said it, but they are not the beacon of the word of God. So that's why a lot of men just find the hypocrisy in it. And it's kind of made for women nowadays, just so they can, find they can be sinning, yet they can put these godly moralities onto men. He needs to be morally sound. He needs to be faithful. He needs to be a leader, a provider, protector. Yet, what is he doing this for? For a woman that, really isn't a good beacon of the word of God. And this is why a lot of men just kind of turn their back on the religion.
Yeah, it's a shame, and it it's just the way of the world. Like I'll give you another example, just because we're talking about love and relationships and marriage. There's several scriptures, I don't know them because listen, I'm not a Bible thumper. I call them thumpers.
I say the same
They-
thing. I say the same thing.
I don't mess with thumpers. I don't mess with Crips, Bloods, and thumpers. I'm hands off. But there's several Bible verses that state, just from my knowledge, where the man's body belongs to the woman and the woman's body belongs to the man.
Hmm.
And another quote or another scripture says they're not to abstain from intimacy, or a word that's translated in Hebrew as intimacy or sex, outside of moments of agreed upon prayer. So in a situation where you're in a relationship or marriage, and if your woman don't want to give you no buns, well, by that book, her body belongs to you and your body belongs to her. But
Yep.
y'all are only supposed to not y'all won't have sex in the event that both of y'all agree upon it. You have to agree upon it, and it's for moments of prayer. So if all of you men are in a relationship or marriage, you can look it up. You can look up the verses, but that's what it reads. So if your woman's not giving you access to her body, you just have to deal with it. But that's why I don't deal with the thumpers, because the thumpers will look over this when God just specifically states your body belongs to him and his body belongs to you. Y'all are supposed to share one another. Outside of that, upon like moments of prayer. So if she's not giving you no buns, she's literally going against scripture. But
Yeah.
it's just crazy how just that one, and there's many other ones. I thought about putting like a list together, some like that maybe for the future that I could go over, but that's just one of many. And then you even look at the ones that are in, I think they're in like Proverbs or something like that, where it says the man is better off living on a corner of a roof in the sun than deal with the unruly woman. Well, here comes the vagueness again. If I'm better off to live on a corner of a roof in the blistering heat than to deal with the unruly woman, I'm hearing separation. I'm not hearing the word divorce, but I'm hearing separation.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people may frown upon that. So if I say, all right, my woman's being unruly for however long or whatever she's being unruly about, God says it's better for me to just be over here doing whatever I'm doing than to be in the physical presence of her. So if I can't leave, or she wants to get the police involved or things like that, literally God is saying, me, the man, and this is the only reason why I bring it up, because there's a lot of things where it says the man is better off than the woman is better off.
Mhm.
God says man is better off doing this, being over here, than to be cooped up with her being unruly. So the thumpers will never really talk about these things or go in depth about these things, but enough men are waking up about this, and you're not just gonna pull the wool over men's eyes about all this stuff. You
And-
have to explain this as thumpers, but they don't want to do it.
Yeah. And that's why I love it more and more. I think men are slowly and surely getting more wiser, right? With age, with experience, seeing the suffering of other men. Men are waking up. Men are getting smarter. Men are adapting. I've said this before, where after feminism, it's women who has changed. It's women who has changed everything. And in counter to it, the consequences of men are adapting. Men are adapting. Men are figuring out, what's the best for them. Because at the end of the day, no one cares about men. Nobody. So we have to adapt. We have to think about ourselves. Because at the end, again, it's fine for women to be selfish, but God forbid a man actually cares about himself. So I love it that more and more men are wising up. I love that.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. One last thing, and then I'm gonna pop off for about 10 minutes. But I also wanted to bring this up in the conversation. Normally, when I do my reviews and I hear the woman say I want a God-fearing man, I always say no PG, as in uh, the moment you hear somebody say I want a provider and somebody God-fearing.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I say that is because even provision in the Bible, and this is something maybe I would like Anton, if he's going to argue with these stumpers online, talk about. Uh, when you look at the word provision online, I mean provision from the Bible, what are the specific Bible verses that says out what is provisioning? So I'll give an example. Let's say I hit it lit, I get an NBA contract, I make $10 million, it gets dropped into my Wells Fargo tomorrow. And me and my lady living in a 2-bedroom apartment with our daughter in the other room. Well, if we were going 50-50, let's say I take over all the bills. I just got $10 million in my bank account and I keep us in that 2-bedroom apartment. Am I providing for her? Because by the law or by that book, I'm paying all the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only provision in a woman's eyes when it looks the way she wants it to look. The last time
Exactly.
I checked, that's the biggest issue, because whether a man has a lot of money or a little bit of money, um, if you're going to judge provision off of what you think or believe it to be, that's on you, because God doesn't tell men in that book, to my knowledge. I don't know of any verses, but to my knowledge, there are no verses that says man is to provide in this way, meaning like materialistic. Of course,
Yes.
the materialistic things we have today weren't around in the Bible times, but
Mm-hmm.
gestures are the same. So there are no stories of God telling men to provide gifts and trips and, let's just say, diamonds or luxuries
Yes,
of any
exactly.
time for them. So God is not telling men to buy your woman gifts and trips. But if I'm taking care of her and I'm providing her with shelter, am I truly providing for her? Because I would like to think I am, but they'll never bring it up.
No, I 100%. This is a thing where it has changed in modern days, where I honestly believe providing is necessities, things you need to survive. A roof over your head, the bills paid, food. Those are necessities. Things like 5-star restaurants, things like trips, things like all the luxuries. No, that's not provision, because you don't need that to survive. And I think that's been the detriment right now. That's been I guess the what women are doing to shackle men with, and it's not true provision. So I definitely agree to that. I definitely agree to that. All right, thanks, Artie.
Yeah, I'll be on in what time is it? 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna be on maybe about 9:30,
Yeah,
9:35.
that's fine.
I'm gonna stay in the lobby, but I'm gonna just hear you. I'm gonna be walking out, and we could chop it up some more. But
Yeah,
shout
you
out to
can
everybody who's watching.
mute, and whenever
Um,
you want, just unmute, and I'll
yeah,
notify.
shout out to everybody who's watching. Um, to me, in my knowledge, you're an amazing content creator. I've been watching your stuff on the low. I like the
Thank you.
angle that you talk about these things. It's not so much the fact that you use like all of the jargon or the words, but you actually display and show people in real time the things, because everybody's going to do either a review of certain channels or certain things, but a lot of them aren't going on TikTok or Instagram and stuff like that, and they're just showing the hypocrisy. So shout out to you, and shout out to all the thumpers out there, man.
All right.
All
See you again. See you soon.
Like a nerd.
Wait. So you chose the bad boy on purpose, knowing he was bad, knowing that it wasn't gonna end up well for you.
Well, I won't say that I knew he was bad when I just saw that he had gold teeth. He had the gold teeth. That was the thing. I was like, gold teeth.
Wait a minute.
You making it worse, mad.
Oh my God! Wait, because this discernment, this written on my heart.
But that's what I'm saying. I knew.
Hold on 1 second. Oh my God! You didn't know he was bad?
No, I'm saying there was no way for me to say, oh yeah, I saw that he did these things that was bad. I just saw that he had gold teeth, and I was like, I shouldn't talk to this person.
Wait, you couldn't figure out that he was bad just by your inherent nature and your ability to discern the difference between right and wrong, and that it was written on your heart?
Anton, this is what I'm telling you. I said I noticed the gold teeth, and that was the thing that was like, don't talk to him. But then I chose.
You said
what?
You said I didn't know he was gay.
No, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't judge and say, oh yeah, he's a bad person, but I just knew that was a signal.
Why didn't you use your discernment?
I was just about to say.
What do you mean?
You said he
Why
was a
didn't you
bad
use your
person.
discernment?
Your first bad
You
person.
My
said earlier.
discernment, what? Okay, this is what I'm saying, Anton. My discernment was there. What I'm telling you is I chose to continue, which is still going with my point. It's not going against what I'm saying at all.
What was your
So what did he
discernment?
tell you?
Was it that
If you
you
didn't
seen
know
gold
that
teeth and you said, you know what, discernment is telling me that this guy is bad?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But I still chose. I still had the choice, like everybody. That's all I'm saying. That's all I've been saying. I don't know. Has anybody been hearing me say anything different?
I got your back line.
I'm just trying to understand because that's literally all I've been saying is women are out here doing the same thing.
One of the things that I stand on, right or wrong, good or bad, indifferent, whatever, is people have to substantiate their argument. And so what I'm trying to understand, right, is because y'all saying three different things.
I was trying to say something, but you changed the subject.
Okay, so you want to jump in and save them? Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't want to save anybody. This is about Christ and His Word.
No, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying.
Yeah. Let's check out another video of Anton. I think that's cool. Let's check out another video. Or, I don't know. We could check something else out. Big Bars, you want to join in? I'm just trying to look if there's anything.
Because we know
Nothing will make me look.
All right, let's check this one out. This is another video of Anton's. I think it's interesting too. Let's react to these bunch of videos.
Respect for a man faster. Nothing will make me lose respect for a man faster than to be in the presence of a man and he see me struggling as a woman or see any woman struggling and he won't even take his hands out of his pockets or lift his hands to help a lady. I was just now in a setting struggling to lift an office chair that was really heavy to get it from one place to the next place. And I had to lift it and carry it a short distance. Two men stood by in executive positions and watched me struggle to lift that chair and watched me struggle to carry that chair to where it needed to be to return it to less than, it was a very short distance back to its proper place. If men will stand by and watch you struggle, even in lifting a chair, they will stand back and watch you struggle in other areas of your life. When it comes to women, children, and senior citizens, I have a soft place in my heart for those three populations because they are the weakest populations on the face of the earth.
All right. Big Bars, what's up, my brother?
What's up with you, man?
What's up?
Chill.
Good.
No, I was just I'll be ghost watching sometimes, and it's just crazy how like men and women really live different realities. You know, it's like that's why we having so much problems. I think,
Yeah,
because they living in a different world than we do. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is.
I agree. I agree. I honestly believe that is true. That honestly, women are living in their own world where it's just multiple realities at once, like old fashioned, traditional, modern world, even their own world. While men, I believe, are adapting. Men are, men are definitely adapting to the world. Is they're living in reality, unlike women are.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. How we're just so separated. They think things are like lollipops, and they think things are sweet, and we're living in real world where things are real. It's crazy. And that causes a problem because they're like, why you don't just do this? Why you don't just do that? Well, you can just do that, but I can't as a man. They don't understand that. That's the biggest problem, I think.
Very true. Very true. I agree. And I think that's why it's important for more men to talk, more men to voice their opinions, their thoughts. Not to just have a women type of narrative, because I think that's very important for society. I am a big believer in that.
Just look at this panel. It's like him and one other man, and all females. That's crazy.
Well, this is that's the thing we got to do. That's why men need a voice too. That's why I'm trying to do that. I believe in that.
Yeah, I believe in it too. But it's just sometimes it's hard because men don't. We don't cry about stuff. You know what I'm saying? We ain't
True.
gonna be like. I mean, it's not to even say that we're crying about it because we're not. You know what I'm saying? We
No,
don't be
no,
crying
not a
about it,
crime.
but it's like men don't move like that. And is it like I don't know? Maybe if they're trying to go against nature, then we need to go against nature. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not in our nature per se to be like.
I agree. I agree. It's not in our nature to, actually we are, we know that, voicing it is not important. We usually just bottle it in and process it ourselves, but we got to stop that. We got to let our thoughts flow, let our opinions out. I believe that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that we gotta get it. We gotta get it together and start just doing what we got to. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I feel. We just gotta do what we have to. And like I was saying the other day, I can't be a victim. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't know if it's
exactly.
like my thing. I can't be a
Exactly.
victim. Yeah, I can't
Exactly.
be. It's like it's not
No.
in me to be a victim. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of what people want to think, they seem like they was all some victim stuff. I
Oh,
get accused. I get accused of it all the time, and it's like that's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you the truth of what happened, and
no, I don't. This is a thing where I 100% believe a man. No, we don't. We should not be living in victimhood. It's about persevering. It's about being better. It's about getting your shit back up. Picking your shit back up and keep moving forward. That is a true essence of a man. All right, living in your victimhood. That's not a man. That's women shit. All right, let's continue watching this.
Why? My question is, did she ask for help?
I think she just the fact that a man will watch something a woman struggling and will not offer. Isn't that like a part of chivalry or something? It's like she's speaking.
So that video was a woman getting angry, getting mad, saying that she had to pick up a chair or whatever and move it somewhere while a bunch of men were watching her do it, and none of these men stood up and actually helped her out. This is a thing, another weird reality women are living in. Women have created the reality of the world that they are supposedly living in, of you're strong and independent, you don't need no man. yet they also believe they live in a reality of old school tradition where men need to see women as, you know, dainty, as weak, as needing the help of men. What is it? Which is it? I mean, it's like Big Bars was saying, okay? These are the realities that women are creating. This is why women do not live in actual reality. They live in a bubble that they create themselves. By one saying, okay, like I said, oh, I'm a strong, independent woman, right? The reality of being a strong, independent woman, while also living in reality that, you know what, traditional. I am, you know, gentlemen's, courting. You know, I am, you know, I'm weak and dainty and I need to be treated special. That is the insanity of women. Yo, Sean, what's up, my brother? Thank you, my brother. Thank you for stopping by.
Men aren't willing to offer their strength or offer their services because we know men like to feel, you know, feel like the hero, and they want to feel needed. If you see a woman struggling with her groceries or with a box or furniture, whether you're an old woman, a young woman, a teenage girl, you want a man to be like, well, let me help you with that, young lady, or let me help you with that, beautiful.
Well, if you want it, why put out the why? See, this is a problem with women. What do you want? Because on one hand, you put out the narrative, the propaganda. You're strong, independent. You don't need no man. And here's a woman saying, oh, we want that. We want that strong man. For what? What do you want a strong man for? When you're strong yourself and you're independent and you say you don't need no man. Why would you want a strong man then?
Like, but you gotta understand from this point of view, because if you think about it, the way things are going today, let's say she needed help with that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, boom. He helps her, and they were in executive positions. How do they know that she won't go and say, "Oh, he touched me and did this when he was lifting it up," or brushed against that, call the police, you know, TikTok, it happens. No,
you can't say that.
No, it's like a form of protection.
You can't say are protecting themselves against possible accusations if they're gonna help. If that's the case, if you can't even trust a woman to help her, the damn relationships, men ain't even gonna ask women out on dates and vice versa. So if you can't even offer to help you to do something, don't have the right to be scared though. But wait a minute. Men cannot be scared at the same level as women. We can't have more beta males and alpha males in our society. We just can't. You can't say, well, I'm afraid. Well, what are you gonna do with a burglar? What's supposed to pop out and get you? You gonna?
Oh, if you guys, right? The link is in the description, okay? Or no, the link is in the chat, okay? If you have a disagreement, if you have a disagreement with me on any of the videos I've made, any opinions I've made, join, right? The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. And if you want to react with me, right? You have some opinions, you have some thoughts, right? Links there. You could join up. We could have a conversation. We could shoot the shit, right? We could react to certain things together. So I'm always down for it.
There's something else going on here. You guys are listening.
But this is the kind of culture that was created and has been cultivated over decades. When we had the two-parent household, it was cool until it wasn't. And then feminism came in and then all kind of other stuff. So with the feminism, chivalry died. So why?
But men are supposed to.
Right. But the thing is,
we might let her finish.
But why sit there and want the traditional version of men, but then we're not traditional versions of women? It doesn't make any sense. Like, are we going to be independent, or are we going to be, we need help, we want chivalry back? Which one is it? You got to pick your battle, because those two things can't be true at the same time. I'm sorry. You got to pick a side.
For me, it's like men are supposed to help women. Doesn't matter what it's like a biological.
You can't say what men are supposed to do, yet you on the same breath you won't say what women are supposed to do. That is the hypocrisy. That is the insanity. So why is it so easy to tell a man what you're supposed to do, right? What are men supposed to do? But yet, do you ever, in my personal opinion, rarely ever hear any woman say what a woman is supposed to do? It's like, what the hell, right? You know what a woman is supposed to do. You know what a man is supposed to do. Yet you don't say what a woman is supposed to do. And then when a man tells you what a woman is supposed to do, it's misogyny. That's misogyny, right? That's misogynistic. That is insane.
It's innate. It's innate nature for men to want to protect women.
But they're not supposed to let that man have,
So it's like, if
unless that man has married you, he has no entitlement.
Right.
And
No,
I
it's
think
not
that-
about, not about doing
Yeah,
it
and
to put
you're
yourself
not
in
entitled
danger.
to anything a man
But let me finish what I'm
brings
saying.
his money, his
So I'm not saying that the man should go after his life in danger, but like the woman said, she needed help just for carrying some things up the stairs or something like that. It wasn't like she was asking him to pull out a gun or like to just.
And this is the thing with women, okay? They want to. I've seen an argument where women said men aren't natural protectors because men don't protect all women. One, that is why men are majority police. Men are the majority firefighters. Men are the majority soldiers. So men in general do protect all. So men in general are natural protectors. But let's say this. One of the things is you have to think logic. So if man is protecting you and something happens to him, right? Something happens to him. Now he can't protect his family because he's protecting you. Are you going to protect his family from now on? No, you won't give a shit about his family. So essentially, he just really just shirked his duty of protecting what's more valuable, his family, his wife, his children. So men are natural protectors. But the problem is men can't protect everyone. Men are not gods. Men are flawed human beings. They are not superhuman. So what makes more sense is men protect what is theirs. Because if he protects someone else and then something happens, who's going to protect his? No woman is going to now give her life to protect his wife, his kids. No woman is going to do that. And again, protecting isn't helping a woman with a chair. Protecting isn't helping a woman pick shit up. That's not protecting. Okay? That is chivalry. Chivalry is dead. Chivalry is dead.
It was more of like helping her to do something, like.
Did you hear about that man who defended that woman?
No, that's what I'm saying. This video that we watched, if we're gonna talk about the video, let's talk about the video, or are we talking about like in general of men helping women? Based on the video,
I think it's all about.
But for the video reaction, based on the video, what the woman was expecting was just with help carrying something. So for me, whether man or woman, if you see someone older than you see that someone is struggling, you should, as a human being, forget man, forget woman, as a human being, you should want to help. I just feel like it's basic human decency to want to help someone lift something. I'm going based off on the video.
When do women help men? When do women help men? Women are not courteous of men. Women don't go out of their way to help men. Now, I'm not saying that women should, but if you expect men to, then you should expect women to, and women don't.
Obviously, there are different, when it comes to situations where you have to choose to put your life in danger for somebody else, that's a whole different situation. But because I'm going based on the video that we watched, what the woman was asking for, I don't feel like it's anything that was too drastic. I mean, even a woman could have helped, lent her a hand to carry to carry whatever it is that she wanted. So that's what I'm going based off of. We're going to talk about like where the man has to put his life in danger for a woman he doesn't know. that's a whole separate conversation. And that's, for me, I feel like I would have different answers for that. But I think this situation was just so small that I don't think it's a thing where we should like happily, I don't know, I don't think, I mean, you should want to just help somebody.
You know, but in the expectations are crazy. We're expecting people that we don't know or have any kind of connection with or know what they got going on to just willingly come out and help. But yet people from a different country can say they don't want a tip. Like, people have so many different expectations. It's crazy. Like, if the men don't want to come and help and the woman didn't feel like she needed to ask, then that's on her. If she knew she needed help, she knew that she was carrying up that heavy ass chair, why didn't you say something? It's like people want people to just go out of their way for no reason, but yet they're not going out of their way. They're not going to go out of their way for men. They're not going to go out of their way. Women are not going out of their way for men the way that women want men to go out of their way for them. Women are not out here doing female things or feminine things for the men to make them feel however they need to feel as a man. So why is it that we're having all these expectations for them?
Men and women are not different. Women don't come to a man's rescue. And we're not even talking about, I don't know what level you're talking about, but if we're talking
I'm just talking about from being like a pillar of bread. From what women are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be submissive. We're supposed to be pleasant. Like Anton said, you rebranded yourself. You look pleasant. You look more receiving. You look ready to receive what somebody else has to say instead of just pouncing. It took something in you to change it in your mind to where it's like, oh, let me fix myself. Let me be softer. Women nowadays are not like that, David, and you know this. So men need softness. Men need women to be women, but it's not that. So if women want men to be men, then women need to be women to men.
But that does not defend her saying, well, it's a shame. I don't think she was complaining, but more so making an observation that what we're used to is that if you're carrying something, if you need visible help with something, if a man sees it, he wants to help. Whether he sees you with groceries or sees you moving furniture, or even if he comes to your house and he sees that you have a leaky faucet, he wants to offer his assistance.
That's a man that has a connection to you. Random men should not be helping you. They should not. They're not obligated, in my honest opinion, they should not. Women do not deserve it. Just because they're women, literally, you're just saying that because you're a woman, you are special. So you deserve special treatment. Literally, the antithesis to equality. That is antithesis to equality. So that is against what you have fought for. Wake up.
I think she's saying that we see so many men not being able to offer that in a sense where you can say, well, they don't want to be taken advantage of by a woman who may treat them like crap anyway. It's like, you don't get to say to yourself, well, I don't want to help this elderly woman. I don't want to help this young woman. I don't want to help this little girl because what if they're mean to me? You can't worry about that. That's stupid. So I think that saying like, oh, well, you wouldn't do this for me. How do you know? Someone needed help and you decided not to help them. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, women are misbehaving these days. And on top of that, why are we saying conflating a woman unlikable or a woman that doesn't deserve someone to help them should be put in the same category of a woman who's clearly minding her business and is noticing she needs help and a man didn't offer? Sure, she could have asked, but she's pointing out that, damn, usually a man would offer before you even have to open your mouth. So I think you're missing the
What are your thoughts? This is a thing where I mentioned we don't live in a world where men need to offer. This is the problem. Women have destroyed that world where men have where men thought they need to, I don't know, that they would offer. That's the thing. Men, that's not the same world anymore. Men don't know if he offers, he's going to get Me Too'd. Me Too'd. We live in a world like that. We live in a world where men don't know if he offers, he's going to be called a creep. Men don't know that, you know what? Guess what? If he offers, he's also interested. But God forbid, he's interested and, women take it a certain way. Guess what? Why shouldn't he get something out of it? usually if a man offers, he's interested in you. So if he, like, let's say he help you out with moving the furniture, well, why wouldn't he like also try to, you know, get your phone number, get you on a date? Usually women say, oh my God, these men are creeps. They only want one thing. Why do you expect random people to just help you out for nothing? That's idiotic. It's absolutely idiotic, because when have women actually helped out man, done anything for a man for nothing? When? I personally, I've never seen it. So you got any thoughts, Big Bars?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I say about the different world thing, and
Exactly.
I don't understand how they think. You know, because when I was growing up, I'm an '82 baby, and when I was growing up, it was like a big thing of you can't have your cake and eat it too. You
Mm-hmm,
can't have
mm-hmm.
your cake and eat it too. That's what they said, and it's like they took that and they extra ran with it. They took that and they extra ran with it. Now they want their cake. And you can't have liberation and somebody carrying a heavy chair up for you. You can't have them both.
Exactly.
You just can't have them both. You know, and that's
And,
reality. Regardless if you don't want to live in it, that is the reality of it.
but that's the thing. Women don't want to live in it, and that's why they make up their own reality. And that's why women's logic is so illogical, because they don't live in reality. They live in a bubble that they create themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy because like even the was that the pink pill lady, she's up there talking about like, well, you still supposed to do what you're supposed to do, even though we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Basically, that's what she said. Basically, and that's crazy to me. That's beyond illogical to me. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
what are you talking about? So you don't have to do what you're supposed to do, but I'm still supposed to? Oh nah, you got it messed up. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
I think you're missing the point of why I think Anton wanted to cover this. And I have to also say that I think that the men are onto something when they say that, at least online, what I see is women have, and congratulations, more freedoms and ability to move about the world like they have never before been able to in history. Right? Women are evolving. They have more privileges, they have more education, they have more financial freedom. They are evolving. The problem is that they want certain things, they want certain behaviors. The men didn't suddenly have some awakening, right? The men have been kind of here the whole time. And what I think the men are saying is that women who have this stance of, I'm, educated, I'm my own boss and everything else, but I want to pick a la carte the things that I like about patriarchy, that I benefit from, and I want those things to say because it benefits me. So it's like, okay, I don't like the whole, stay at home, this, that, and the other, but I want to work, but I also want you to give me your money, and so my money is my money, and your money is my money too. I'm gonna put you on TikTok because you opened the door for me. You're gonna give somebody a hard time. Like literally, I had to get after my own daughter because I have one son, and my son knows that if I approach a door, I pause and wait. He's opening the door. And so my little girls were like, oh, why are you pausing? I said, because that is what a gentleman does. That's what he does. And they were like, well, he doesn't have to open every. I said, that's not the point. I had to tell them because the indoctrination of these women is real. It's like, it would be different if we wanted to be completely autonomous, right? And say, we're going to just live on. But no, we still have these expectations of men that are very traditional. We want them to be providers, we want them to be protectors. We want them to have all of these things that we really, really like about the patriarchy, just not that other stuff that we don't like. And so just think about if it was in your situation, you wouldn't think it was fair. So I'm just saying that a lot of men are just saying, well, you like it, I love it. You like it, I love it. Like, you see how dangerous that can be if you continuously allow men to just say, I don't want to do simple things because I'm fearful, or I don't want to. I think the women who are out there saying that that men are irrelevant, that they're not needed, that they're all violent, all of the things. Like, listen, I have listened to women online. I'm not saying it's you, Damon. I don't know. I'm saying that I have listened to women say the most horrible thing. Imagine if every time you open your phone or open your laptop, there's something bad being said about you. You would feel a certain way. You wouldn't feel inferior. I don't make a cop out because I can say the same thing like me and like now. I can talk about, they don't have a big mouth, this, that, and the third. That does not mean when a brother says, or any man says, good morning, young lady, you look beautiful today. And I say, well, you looking not too shabby yourself, young man. Like, I'm not going to say to myself, I'm not going to, or even if I see, something that I could do for a guy, I'm not going to tell myself, well, he could be dangerous or he could be this, because then I would be consumed by fear. I would be consumed by social media talk. I don't think that it's healthy for us to have this mindset because I don't think it's healthy either. But you can't expect these men to be psychic. Like they can't look at you and say, Galen is going to be the type of person who's going to appreciate.
Exactly. That's the thing. This is the thing. This is the problem with women. They have made the world confusing. I've said this before. How the world was, right? Before feminism, that was created by men in general, okay? At least that was the world men have been accustomed to. That was the world men have been accustomed to. The world before feminism, okay? It was pretty straightforward because the only view was pretty much men. That's it. The only rules, the only views, the only opinions was pretty much men. So now the world, right? After feminism, that is the world that women have created. Whether they wanted to or not, or were they purposely created or not, that is the world that women have created. Thanks to women's actions and words, this is the world that has resulted from that. The problem is that women are confusing with their world. It isn't straightforward because, like I said before, women want to be strong, independent, don't need no man mindset, yet they also want men to be provider and protector. Men that want 50-50 or sassy. Men that, want effort is sassy. Men that, want you, want you to be respectful is crazy. All right. Men that, it's like men that don't open the door, right? Don't open the door, don't bend over backwards, don't do all these gentleman quality shit or courting shit are terrible men. You destroy that. What do you want? What do you want, tradition or do you want modern ideology? No. Just like that other woman said, a la carte. Pick what you want. Women want to pick what they want and throw away things that they don't want. Yet men don't know what the fuck that is. Men don't know what you want. So men are being forced to read women's minds. Okay? Just like, oh my God, if a man is talking to me, he's a creep. Oh, but if this man is talking to me, he's handsome, so he's not a creep. So which one is it? All right, which one is it? Is it a creep for talking to you or not a creep for talking to you? Which one do you want? That's the shit that makes men confused. And that is the problem. Women want men to read their fucking minds.
Hey, I just want to say that the one chick, you gotta watch the one chick because she's more like a chameleon type because she knows what it is, but she still wants what she wants. So watch women like that. The Dylan chick or whatever her name is, she's more like upfront. It's more upfront. It's just you are what you are. You are man. You really like a man hater, even though you like to probably mess with men or whatever. You are a man hater. And people don't understand that about man haters. They're not talking to people. They talk to people all the time. They just move like they hate men for real. You know what I'm saying? but they like men, but they hate them too, though.
I think they're more like men users. Right? That's the thing.
Yes, because I think the term used to be man hater, and then it kind of flip into just a manipulator.
Exactly. Yep. Definitely a manipulator.
That's what they're going on now. So I'll just say, watch both of those women. There are two, and one's just closer to the line because she'll get you by her talking points by saying the obvious, but she still wants the tradition. So it's like you don't understand. You know, it's like you don't. At the end, you're dangerous because you don't understand that
Hmm.
gone. That is gone. And you raising your. Let me just say this. And you raising your son like this is not helping him. It's not gonna help him as a man. Sorry. You know, a woman telling a man how to operate as a man moving forward is not necessarily a good
I,
thing.
I was thinking that too. I question why is why isn't her husband doing that? Possibly, I don't know the woman. Possibly because she's a single mother. Possibly because
Possibly.
why isn't the husband? Why isn't the father teaching that?
What I just honestly feel like in my heart, I feel that women need to address women and men
Hmm.
to address men. I think that's
Correct.
how it needs to work. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
For it to be, and when women want to be so masculine and overstepping the bounds, that's the problem. You know, that's where the problem gets in because you shouldn't even be, and not in no, I think I'm better than you way, but you shouldn't even be addressing that man. You know what I'm saying? Your man should be addressing him or whoever.
Exactly.
Right.
But this is the problem. We have a serious epidemic of single mothers. We have a lot of single mothers raising a whole bunch of men, future men, and that is the danger. That is the danger.
Yes. I said just that you know, you have to look at the family court system that they're giving insane people impressionable children and money. That's
Mm,
that's really when it all boils down to it, that's what you're doing. That's what's happening. You're giving unstable women children and money.
mm-hmm,
That is
mm-hmm,
evil.
mm-hmm,
That's kind of evil to me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I agree. I agree.
Some other woman is going to put me on TikTok because how dare I open the door for her or think that I can't do something? Like, literally, it's like these are the conversations women need to be having with themselves about why we continue to communicate these messages, even if it's not us who's doing it. Like, these women are going viral saying the most vile things, but then you guys want to turn around and have and then I'm seeing videos of women saying, well, where are the men? It's like, right, you sitting up here, the mixers are not coming to the mixers. Why are they coming to the mixers? Because you guys are filming them while you guys are on dates. You guys are humiliating them. You guys are doing all of these things. Like, why would anybody want to deal with that? So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that men are perfect. I am not going to say that. I have my complaints about men, and but what I'm saying is that if it were you in the situation, just replace the men in the situation with, say it was you and how you would feel if you were getting all of these mixed messages you didn't know you, and then people are expected to be psychic. Like, you're supposed to know that girl wants me to open the door for her, but that girl doesn't. That girl will let me say hi to her in the gym, and that girl will put me on TikTok. Nothing wrong with me.
I think you can just ask
Men
men
to
to help.
That's why you feel regretful about being a gentleman. You don't get a direct report. Well, you know what? You should at least get a thank you. You know what? Listen, I help people all the time. I help people who are.
I think AC's on a delay. AC, what are you saying?
Yeah, I was just wondering why she didn't just ask him, hey, can you help me? It wasn't that hard. It's not that hard to ask a man, hey, like, I'm short. So when I travel, I'm asking the person next to me, hey, I can't reach that. Can you help me with that? It's not that hard. It's just, I don't understand what they would make a TikTok about it saying,
Correct. I don't think she was asking the young man. I just think she was pointing out an experience. Like, who's to say that you hadn't had experiences like that prior and have had?
No. She was talking about men in general. I think we live in a time now where I would get why men wouldn't want to help certain women.
Interesting. What do you got? Do you guys like that? Let's check out another one.
I just think it's crazy. She can't. I think that's like a red flag test for men. You can't even say that a woman did something wrong. If you can't
Mm-hmm.
say a woman did something wrong, I don't need to be dealing with you because that's like insanity on a whole new level. That you can't even admit that a woman may have did something wrong. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah. We got this is the thing where I see. This is a problem with a lot of women where they constantly say that they're a great communicator or they want communication, but women don't communicate well with men. It's like they don't know how to talk to men.
They want to face the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because deep down, I feel that They know what's up. You know what I'm saying? They know what's up. They know that they're probably wrong. They know that a man will be able to smooth it out and tell them, hey, XYZ, this is not how you should move. They know that. They just want to do what they want to do, man.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's check out another video.
Just like a white woman. So like I was saying, what we need to do is come together and stop hurting each other by denying what has been the issue for us in this country. Now, if you hate racism and you know it's not right, there should be no tolerance of it. There should be no assimilation to it. It shouldn't be no, let's just forget about it, right? And what's crazy to me is, y'all think that I'm racist.
Guys, Brandon gotta go next.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Well, I just think what it all boils down to, I think the primary problem is that we don't have a community. We have a bunch of individuals that share similar skin tones. I think if you want to fix the fundamental problems, like I don't think it's race. If anything, I think in my experience, people who have resources, and the white people I've met, all they want to do is help and provide opportunity if they like you and they want to see you succeed and be great. I think that when it boils down, it's the family unit. Because number one, you got to fix reading scores. Previous I work at a nonprofit organization. In my county right now, only 52% of African American students are reading at or above a third grade level. That's a problem. And off of that statistic, they're currently building more prisons.
That's what I said. The reading scores to build prisons.
And think about it from this perspective. Why are the reading scores so low? Well, everyone wants to blame the educational system. But when I was a kid, the reason why I was able to read so well is because my mom sat there and she read books to me as a kid. She was my dad. You know what I'm saying? My mom actually stayed at home for the first 4 or 5 years, while my dad was the one that was putting all the work in. So the problem really boils down to it.
You know what? If you guys disagree with me, I'm almost down for a conversation. That is one of the things, right? That young man said. This is the problem with minority communities, particularly the Black community. Not enough parents, particularly two household parents, are active in their children's lives. They're not caring about doing the best for their children, so their children can be educated, can prosper, can be good, productive adults. And that's a big detriment. That's a big problem.
I agree because just like he said, the reason why I know what I know is because of my family teaching me, showing me, read this book, read this encyclopedia. We had encyclopedias, so we had to used to read A through Z out this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I know what I know, and I think it's like extremely horrible. Think of it. I think of it this way: these people want to say a certain demographic is the enemy, but then you trust your children to them. But then you send your children to the enemy and don't reinforce any kind of educational background. You just send it to, and it's on them to educate your children.
Exactly. Why don't you have a part in educating your children? Why? That's the problem. That's the problem.
It's not hard. If you do it while they're young, if you still it into them while they're young, when they're older, they're going to continue it.
Exactly.
It takes really that's why I think the stay-at-home mother thing is so important.
Exactly.
Because the first 5 years, man, if you teach them right, the first 5 to 7, they golden. The rest of their life, they good. They ain't gonna get in no trouble. They ain't gonna they're good.
Exactly.
Give them attention for 5 to 7 years, and it's like people can't even do that. That's what was hard. I look back at it, and that's what's horrible about it. You can't even look after your child for 5 to 7 years. You're so selfish.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing where it goes down to, they need 2-parent households. The problem is it's the epidemic of single mothers. We have too many single mothers and not enough 2-parent households. Yeah. That is the problem. That's a problem that I'm sorry, but a lot of minority communities are facing. Such a huge amount of single mothers. You need to marry. You need to have a family. If you're going to have kids, that is the very least you should do. have a 2-parent household.
I think what a lot of women need to understand is that it doesn't matter if you did it or not. A segment of women chose government assistance over,
Mm.
and
Mhm,
that
mhm,
has to be addressed.
mhm, mhm.
I'm sorry if you didn't do it. I
Yeah.
wasn't alive when it happened. Well, you benefited from it for sure.
Mhm.
You benefited from it, so it has to be dealt with. And you know, women don't want to have accountability, but that's the only thing that's going to save them in the end, I think.
Oh,
Because men are waking up.
100. Exactly.
A lot of men,
100.
and you even if you use I'm not religious, but even if you use a religious base, Adam was here for hundreds of years, but without a woman. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I think that's something that needs to be, looked at. Adam was here for hundreds of years without no woman, and sad to say, a man who's really about his grind can not per se be with a woman for 80.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So that's just my opinion.
No, no,
They
no.
want to get it together.
Exactly, exactly.
About race. It's class.
Janae gotta go. Janae?
It was literally built on race. You can't say that it's not about everything.
Race, guys,
Oh, my bad. Y'all not get passionate.
I think it's my
Y'all don't long-winded. Y'all know how to be talking.
Take a breath, babe. Take a breath. No, shit. Oh, shit. Now Janae going next.
I don't know why they're be talking to me.
Janae going next? No name calling. Where's Janae? Damn, Janae, you get better mic. Go ahead, Janae.
I'm so sorry. Next time I will, I promise. This is the last minute thing, but I will say this. Look, like you said, you talking about like the reading levels, right? All of that definitely matters. It is classism, and I think a part of it does. Racism plays a role in classism as well. And I think that when we, I hear you, Aiden, when you say it's the white man's fault, but I think that like you just said, Brandon, like when you say I was able to read. When you said I learned how to read because my parents were home. My mother, was reading to me regularly. My mom was able to stay home for the first 4 years of life. My dad, worked and paid the bills. I think that's a privilege to do because nowadays people aren't even allowed to be in that space. Women are barely staying home because women are working. Bills got to be paid. Who got to get on the table? We don't have a lot of situations where men are sole providers in the Black community. So a lot of times women aren't in positions to go to work, come home, cook, do homework, and then I got to read to you at night. When it's not bring to that space to be able to do that. So I think that causes a disconnect as well. But of course, I wish that it gave us the opportunity, that we had the opportunity to do that. But as Jazz was saying, like when we talk about things that you can do to make it better, I think that a big thing that we have to do as a whole is to support each other differently. I think that we have such high expectations and saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and have this and have that, as opposed to figuring out what works for us, living within our means, so that way we can have resources and benefit from these things and start putting things in place so that we can start to level up. For me, I'm from DC, and everybody knows DC is like Black Mecca. So I grew up with Black people of all different spaces, all different stages of life, from the poorest of the poorest and the richest of the richest when it comes to Black wealth in America. That's where I grew up. So I've seen it all. But what I'm saying to you is a lot of times the disconnect comes from the fact that we just don't have the opportunity to do that. Everybody does it. So it's from when we talk about a community standpoint, we talk about the majority and not just some pieces of some people who have opportunity to do that. I think that's great. I love that your mother would read you. I think that, for me, I had siblings, my sister told me how to read, right? But I feel like when it comes to like our educational system, even now, like the funding that's being funneled from the education system, like that's a problem.
Okay, but here's the problem.
We can't help our kids learn to read when they don't even pay teachers well enough.
I mean, here's that again, I do agree that our education system sucks. I definitely agree. But that does not take away from what the most beneficial thing is. The parents. Children need parents to be active in their children's education. So yes, there's no doubt our education system sucks. But to help improve it, well, one of the things is be an active parent. We have so many parents that, are not as active in their children's education as they should be. You should be reading books to your children. You should be helping or understanding what's your children's education or whatever, like homework, shit like that. Be a part of it. And that's the problem where, again, What helps it is 2-parent household. Because here's the thing, with 2-parent household, both people don't necessarily need full-time jobs. Now, both should have a job, but both does not need full-time jobs. Because here's the thing where a lot of people may neglect. You said, oh, I mean, she's saying, oh, you know, 2-parent house. I mean, you need to make, it's about making the money. But here's the thing. If you don't live beyond your means, you don't necessarily need such an abundance. But that's the problem, where it's about budgeting, it's about saving, it's about financial education. That's something that you need to develop before you have kids, before you have family. This is a problem where there are steps. There are steps. And a lot of times, particularly single mothers or, you know, minority communities, Black communities in particular, they're not going step by step. They are skipping steps, and they wonder why they are failing, right? They wonder why things aren't going right. You are jumping over different steps, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree. You gotta. I'm stuck on the point that if you feel that we're in such of an oppressive state, which I kind of think we are, but if you feel that way, you educate your child. They come home, and you give them information so they can outbeat the slave masters per se. That's the only way. If people want to not have no responsibility and stuff. That's the problem. You know, even though this is an oppressive system, I'm gonna send my child into the oppressive system, incapable to handle stuff. And see, that's why we have the prison. We have the preschool to prison pipeline. That's why we had that shit, because my personal theory is that it might be on purpose to this being done, because the court family law is tied to law. You know what I'm saying? So they're all getting paid to let this go down. As they you know, on some level, give them to their mothers, and they going to come right to us.
And that's the problem. That's exactly. And that's the thing why we need to have an active role in our families, our children's lives. We need to have an active role. We need to be educating them correctly. 100%. I agree.
You know, you can't put it. That's one thing that I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandparents were, you know, they was old school. They was like just out of slavery for real. You know what I'm saying? They dismissed slavery, and that's what they said. I used to come home, and if I looked bored, boy, you better go get what you want. You want C? Better go get C and start reading and start writing me something. You better write impress me. That's what they tell me. You better impress me. So not telling you what to do or nothing. You just better impress me. So you better, when you come and put that paper in front of me, I better be like, yeah, that's some good work. Because if not, you're going back and you come back and you're not gonna be free until you got something.
Yes.
I think that's the way it needs to be. We got away from it, but that's the way it needs to be, man. You can't pass the education of your child up to anybody.
Exactly.
Anybody but you. It's only you, and it's you know, I look back on little stuff that used to be in our childhood that doesn't exist no more, and that's kind of the problem. We used to have Smokey the Bear be like, only you can prevent forest fires, and that's what it is. Only you can prevent it.
Exactly. Yo, Artie, what's up? What do you think? Any thoughts?
Can you hear me?
I could.
Oh, yeah. I was listening the whole time, man. It was so much that y'all spoke about, but the biggest thing, like the woman said toward the end, was we don't have the guy being able to provide 100% of the bills, which is complete BS. And here's the reason why. Like I just said when I was at work, if I have money and I provide the things that we need, but it doesn't look like what you think it should look like as the woman, you don't think I'm providing. So if I make $75,000 a year, right, and we have a standard 3-2, like your first house, right? And we got 2 kids, but we don't go on vacations, and we wear decent clothes. We're living and thriving every day. You know, we probably save close to $500 outside of our bills per month. But I'm paying for everything. I am providing for you. But to that woman, she doesn't think I'm providing for her because she has a cell phone and she hops on IG, and then she sees this woman or the other woman blabbering her mouth about guys ain't taking care of nothing. And then, you know, the cycle repeats itself. Now, what Bars was saying about the prison to school pipeline, yes, that exists, but it's not necessarily because of the man not being there. It's again the woman's need for what she wants. It's not, and that's why I said just like that. It's her need for what she wants, not what she needs. She needs safety and security and basic provisioning, but she has the need for what she wants, and that's the issue. She's going to take everything that she wants, all the luxuries of life, and place that into the need category. So where you have a guy who's maybe making 75,000, who this girl or any girl who that should be a well-groomed, a well-established man, she needs him to make 250,000. But there ain't many men that can make 250,000. Now this ultimately is a woman's problem, because they have to realize they're always going to outnumber us, you know, because we can't control birth. We can't control how many boys are born versus girls. So just for myself, I'm married and I have one brother. He has 2 girls and his wife's pregnant with a third. I have 3 girls. They all school age. The oldest one 12, 8, and then 4. So there's always going to be women producing women versus just exclusively producing men. So it can't be a numbers game of, well, we need more men. And then you take away the baby deletion part of it, that they'll never give up. You know, they're going to fight for that right until Jesus come back. So you got the baby deletion. They're always going to produce more girls on average than men. And then they have this outlandish need for what they want. They're always going to be in this cycle, this doom cycle, and nobody can pull them out of it. They just have to age out of it. Most like everything. I mean, you tell your son or your kid, don't touch the hot stove, but he or she wants to touch it because it's glowing, it's red, you know, it's bright, it's got a little smoke coming off of it, you know. But you tell them all the time, don't touch it, don't touch it. Unfortunately, the only way you know the stove is hot is when you touch it. So it's unfortunate, but they're going to have to walk this out. Some of them get lucky and they live their 20s up, maybe they're half their 30s and they get out of it. Some are just smart right out the rip and they get out of it when they're young. Some stay in that carousel till they 40, 50. You know, it's just unfortunate, but, you know, they're just going to have to learn that way. And there's nothing men can really do about it, you know, because we're taking care of providing for everybody, keeping everybody safe, making cars and the luxuries of life, the things that we have in life. But unfortunately, that's the only way they learn.
No, that's I agree. Men are, you know what, men nowadays we're sitting back, eating our popcorn and just watching the world that women have created burn down. We are just watching. We are letting women live the results of their consequences, right? Their lack of accountability, we're watching what it creates. I agree.
Yeah, I was just want to say I agree with you that you know, we're dealing with an issue of greed. I agree with you, but I think that it's which one it came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. Because if a woman is acting without her covering, that is that woman, they say that woman's out of order. That's what the books say. You know what I'm saying? That's what every religion, that's what everybody says.
Mhm.
The woman is acting without her covering, she is out of order. And that's what we have. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is the main problem. And what you said, the just greed and the you know, the greed is another problem. That's an effect of the problem. And I think the problem is that you have women and children running out unruly out here. Just
Yep.
unruly.
Yep. I agree.
They fear nothing. They don't fear their father coming. See, when I was young, I used to fear my father, my grandfather, my uncle, neighbor, whoever coming around the corner and see me doing some crazy stuff. Now, no fear.
Definitely. There is none. There is none.
It's nothing we can do. They just have to, live it out. I mean, you get a cut or you get a burn. Eventually the skin will scab and then it will fall off. But these women just are going to keep picking at it and keep picking at it and keep picking at it, and it's never going to heal. And unfortunately, like, there's but so much that a man can physically do. But and then beyond that, we've given them this level of life that they never really had growing up. I mean, there was like, just for my parents. I mean, I'm 36, so my dad was in the military. I can remember seeing one of them big Satcom phones, the little brick phone in our house, and man, like it's just they have smartphones and they have all this technology, and it's just that constant drive for more and more and more, which is fine that they have it because it kind of pushes men to it. But if it's not how do I want to say it? If it's not anchored to something like sturdy, it will just go off. It's like a dog without a leash. I mean, if it's not anchored to a fence or to the owner's hand, like, it will go off for what it wants, but there's nothing anchoring them to, like, no homeostasis. There's nothing anchoring them to, okay, this is our, like, our ground zero. Like, there's nothing anchoring them to logic or reality. Like, it's just,
Yeah, I think we have to like where's the thing about being kind to the person you're with, not having them pay for your friends, because that's crazy. Why would my man pay for my friends? You know what I'm saying? If it's not something that was talked about. And I think that's what the extra disrespect is. That these women are knowing their friends are planning to plot something on their man and they're not even saying nothing to him. I think I think it would get done. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to your, hey, XYZ, this, if you can cover this, just be real and humble. What happened to being real and humble? And I think
No.
let them escape accountability in this. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets to a point where it's like, okay, are you a real person or are you a black-hearted person? You could just do anything to somebody because you can. That's just my thing.
but to me, I'm of the thought and opinion, because, like I said, I'm married and I got 3 kids. The one thing that women don't need is more. I know it's what they want, but they actually need less. And
Yes.
I'm gonna explain it in this way. There was a TV show called Revolutions. It's actually my favorite TV show ever. It only had 1 season. Don't know why, but for those who don't know, it's a TV show about how all the electricity in the world went out, and it was just out indefinitely. And so eventually you had, like, everybody got around by, like, making carriages and stuff like that, because cars didn't move no more. And you would have homes like in a cul-de-sac where they're just literally, the part you drive around the cul-de-sac, they would grow food and all that there. And the women took care of all of it. They dealt with the clothes, even their clothes changed in the TV show. And it literally looked like an Amish type existence. And unfortunately, when they have that level of survival tailored to their actions, they will make the correct action. But it's not until they have that survival taken to it. Because now a woman doesn't have to. Like, I have daughters, and I don't want them to grow up to be, IG girls and all that. But because they have that option, or they have that, they're young, so of course I'm not going to steer them in that direction. But because I can't guarantee or control that they don't do that, they may want to experience that. And I think that is what a lot of women are doing. But until they know that their survival depends on them making, it's like a pilot. A pilot is perfect. He goes up in the air and he comes down with all of his passengers. Until women adopt that mindset that I have to be perfect to survive, like, they won't make the right decisions. And I can't remember. I think it was a President Woodrow Wilson said, people will make the right decisions in their life only after they exhausted every other possibility. And I think that's exactly what women do. Women will make the right decision in their life. They will do, it's kind of like the cock carousel. They will get a man good enough and get out of here. Some women will do it young, but only after they exhausted the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the Chads, the flying to Dubai. Only after that, they will do the right thing. So only after they've exhausted every possibility, they will do what's right. And unfortunately, we just got to let them do that. There's no other way to get it to go back. Only other way I see it is like the TV show I brought up. If you take the electricity away, and of course I'm not saying that'll happen, but with more technology and more access and more luxuries, and eventually somebody's going to invent a flying car. Women are just going to eventually say, "Oh, you got a Mustang, or you got a van? I'm in flying cars." There's nothing that's going to curtail that desire until it goes backwards.
But that's the thing where I said, men do not be settled for. Do not be settled for. That's why I said, any man that, if you're tired, get your passport. Stop it with that shit. Don't let these women settle for you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, you shouldn't be settled for. And I don't think you have to worry about your daughters being, because you just, from talking to you, you seem like, that's why I think it's big the fathers be involved.
Yes.
I don't care what you say. Yeah, you have your few simpy fathers that let their children do whatever, but for the most part, a father is like probably the most important thing for a male or a female. Actually, you know what I'm saying? Especially for a male, but for female, just knowing how to handle people for real. Because a lot of women are out here naive. No matter what they want to think, they're naive, and they be having people pull the wool over their eyes. That's what's happening. So, and I think this is what I think of it. Something needs to happen, accountability wise, because if it doesn't, do you know how many bloodlines are going to go extinct? How many men are just like, you know what? I don't think I should take the deal after you done been with 50 people. I don't want you. I'm rather deal with whoever else I gotta deal with, or I much rather just be single and run my bag up. I much rather. So I think the real dilemma that I think feminism saw it coming, but that's the real dilemma that having these women don't see coming. That men don't have to take them up. Men don't have to save them. Men don't have to jump between them and the speeding bullet. None of that. Men don't have to. Men was doing it because we loved and respected them. They don't love and respect us. That's the problem. And until that issue gets, I'm not talking about all, but most, until that issue gets worked out, it's going to be what it's going to be. You're going to have more men just being like, you know what? I'd rather get my bag than deal with some woman who's just going to take half of my stuff and been with 100 people. I'd much rather not. And I think that's the thing that a lot of women need to really see.
it might get like that, but again, like it's 2025. Who knows? I mean, technology is only getting more and more advanced. We about to have robots on these streets in like 10 years. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't want to swing it that far. But if we got, like, let's say it's 10 years from now, right? It's 2036 or 2035, whatever, and we now have like robots. So now a lot of the essential duties that a woman would be needed for outside of her main her what is that her let's just call it her main obligation. If everything else, all the added stuff she could bring to a guy is taken care of, well, now, I mean, what do you have to get taken care of outside of that? Because I can't worry about the world 100 years from now because I ain't gonna be here. But I can just say for the ones who will most likely be here, like our young children or whatever, they gonna have to deal with it. And although we can't force women to do the right thing, we're all gonna suffer the consequences of one bad person. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're doing good or bad. I mean, one decision by somebody in the group as humans, if it's just boys and girls, let's just say we're all doing an activity, and if half are going to do something completely that we didn't account for, well, we're all going to suffer. I mean, it's like robbing a bank. All three of us could go rob a bank today, and if I'm driving and I take a wrong turn and I crash the car and we were probably going to make it, but I crashed the car. My poor decision hurts all of us. So, as far as women's concerned, their collective poor decision making and poor choices are going to get all of us jammed up. Not jammed up like going to jail or something, but it's going to jam us up financially. We're not going to have as much growth in this country as we would. Food, I mean, you have to worry about like food and people with jobs and stuff like that. I mean, they're constant need, and they got to figure it out. And I don't know. I know the safe thing is to say women should counsel women, and I do believe that to be true, but they don't take counsel from them, and they half of women hate the other half of women. So, I mean, hell, in my wife's case, I mean, since we've been together 13 years, but she's probably had 6 or 7 close friends. I mean, 4 of them are gone for whatever reason or another, and they can't stick together cohesively for long enough, so they ain't going to listen to each other. So unless one of y'all got a better plan, then I mean, hey, it is what it is. I probably got another 40, 50 years here, and I'll get to play with some robots, maybe play some dominoes with some robots. Other than that, I don't know what else. I worry about our kids, the ones coming after us, but I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, brother, I think you are doing what you need to do about it, because teach the next generation. Because everything you said was pretty much. I don't have no disagreements with you with anything you said, but I would say that the only thing I would say is that you're teaching the young generation, so when the shit hit the fan, they know what to do. That's all we can do at this point. We have to teach, and we have to pass it. I said this earlier. You gotta have something to pass on to your children. You know what I'm saying? And that's money and knowledge and you know what I'm saying? Everything. You have to have something to give them. And I think if more parents thought that way, it wouldn't be so messed up.
But the guy has to have he's got to have access too. So if I'm with a woman and we both collectively agree, okay. I mean, look at how many people when the poke came out, I mean, there were guys saying, nah, don't poke the kids. Women are like, poke the kids. Something as simple as that. I'm pretty sure there were people who broke up about that, but parents collectively can't get together and steer raising kids the right way, because it all comes down to, I'm not gonna say it's all on women. It's the guy that kind of allowed it from the beginning, but as long as women have this overarching control, because it's not just you against your woman, it's you against your woman, and she got the government with her. So as long as that's there, then the man will never have enough authority or say so in any situation or any dynamic, even with his own children. Because I mean, you can raise kids with your wife or a significant other in the home, but the woman wants to do something else, boom, she can go do that. And if she wants to stall you out and kind of get you out of the whole picture, boom, she can go call the government, say he did this, he did that, and they're going to bite. I mean, look at the celebrities that get taken advantage of. I mean, I know we're talking about kids, but this all kind of comes down to women decision making, and because we can't force women to make the right decision, the only thing we can do is walk away or make the situation not as make the situation not bad for a woman, but make the situation so hard economically for a woman that she has to submit into the man's leadership. She has to submit to it, and that didn't even happen. I mean, we Bars, before you came on, we were speaking earlier about with Anton about the religious piece, and I call them the Bible thumpers, but he was trying to make a case for where's women's agency in all of this. And I mean, you even take it back to Adam and Eve, like you said, Adam was here hundreds of years, no problem. Man know how to follow directions and live life. His only vice is a woman, and women ain't going to follow directions of a man, because they're not going to do that. They will literally listen to a snake. So, and then it will corrupt the man. So women's nature is not listening. The only thing you can do is force them into that corner. Not force them physically, but I mean, you have to just subject them to their own hardships to the point that they will now submit. They will do it. Some girls will be smart enough to realize, oh, hell no, I see my mom, or I see my sister or my cousin had to deal with this BS. I'm not doing that. But most of them will take that chance. And as long as they got a phone in their hand, and they keep listening to these celebrities, and they keep seeing IG models out here, and it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And nothing really is changing for the guy. Like, you look at marriage laws. Marriage laws ain't even changing. So even if we fix the women today, I could fix the woman right now today. You still got the marriage laws, and you still have the laws of the land. And until we get those off, I mean, it's one thing to be in a handicap match against two people, but it's one thing to be in a handicap match literally with your hands cuffed. So
that's why I think that the most important thing is men's content. I think that is why men having a voice is so important. This is a thing where young men that don't have any guidance can learn from can learn or at least listen to the other side. And I think that's a big step, in my opinion, where we are giving the opportunity for other men to just listen to the thoughts of other men. So if other men have certain similar thoughts, they know that they're not alone. Or if other men don't know what to do, well, they're listening to other logical men on, possible other ways of thinking. So I'm definitely a big supporter of men having voices.
Yeah, I agree. But I agree with what you were saying about the us being handcuffed, and I don't know. I would just suggest people just kind of just think about why these college educated lawmakers are doing this. Why are they doing this? They don't know all the stuff we're talking about. They don't know the preschool to prison pipeline. They don't know about that. They don't know about all the stuff we gotta say. They do know. and they're not changing things. So that would think I would think that's what they want. They want the destruction of civilization. That's what
Mhm.
I think. You know, so it's like it's to the point where we. I mean, you always talk about some kind of action, but some gotta be done. You know what I'm saying? Like some gotta be done because you're really destroying all of us. Like you said, you're destroying all of us. You're not just destroying children and women, which you are destroying them, but you're destroying everybody. And I just wonder what they're thinking because you ain't gonna have nobody to tax if everybody gone. So I'm not getting it. You know, there's not enough preservation. It's all destruction. You
Yeah,
know.
it's a tough thing to think about. There's several there's several creators that kind of try to bridge the gap between all of this, but I think that's the overarching theme. Like we have to, especially as men, because men essentially are the ones that kind of got ourselves into this mess with women, because women never truly held the power over men. It was always men's weakness to women that got us here. Like I said with the Adam and Eve situation, Eve didn't, punch Adam in the neck and say, "Eat this," you know. She kind of sweet talk them into it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're in it, we have to figure out a way out of it. And some people are going to go left, some people are going to go right, some people's going to go extreme measures, some people are just going to put their head in the sand. But I mean, something has to be done. But I mean, when you think about it, what realistically can be done if we have a government on our hands? And to the government's side, I would like to think that they have some type of pulse on, well, we have to try to figure out a way to do this. But it just seems to me on the outside that they're of the opinion that it won't even matter. Like, why am I going to fight for the champion of 2,433? I'm not going to fight for something that I'm not going to be around to take advantage of. So they're just going to run up the scoreboard, And it's kind of like they're just stuck there. They're stuck between, I know we need to manage these people and make this a equitable situation for men and women, but in doing so, we're gonna lose out the money. We're gonna downsize our population and all of that. And I think that's what the government thinks. But to me, you're gonna get that way if you do nothing either way. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You could do something and it can fail, or you cannot do nothing and you can guarantee failure. So not doing nothing guarantees failure. Doing something maybe works, but I mean, because I think this is my bold claim. This is just me only. I think in maybe 25 years, maybe 20 years, you'll see the full legalization of, sex work, and you will now kind of run this country. I think in 50 years, I mean, we'll maybe be more technologically advanced, but we will live in this country like people in the Philippines or something like that. You'll have large areas that are just nobody lives there, like malls are inhabited now. Like, no, we just have empty malls and stuff like that, but there's no fix for all of this. That's the extreme view, but women don't really care about none of this because they too busy trying to go to a Diddy party, so I mean, literally, I mean, they just want to have fun. The old saying is girls just want to have fun, so
No,
as
they
long
live
as
in
they
the
can have
moment.
fun, oh well.
No, they live in the moment. They don't care about the future. They don't care what happens. As long as they're happy right now, whatever happens in the future, they don't give a shit.
And somebody will wipe them up, though. I mean, push comes
Yeah,
to shove.
of course.
They always have a product to sell,
Yeah.
We
They
don't have
do.
one, so guys, you better figure out something. Go make some money.
Exactly.
Go do what's in your best interest while you're here on Earth, because you can't take it with you.
Exactly.
You got celebrities drowning in oceans, and people are just gonna pass away with time. So go get you some money, go make you some friends, Go get some knowledge in your brain. If a woman wants to come along with you, let her do that. If not, have hard rules for her so she don't
Yes,
destroy you. Um,
exactly. Yo, great conversation, guys. It was fun. It was fun.
yeah.
It
It
was.
was great. I love having a conversation with my bros, bunch of bros. This is what I'm saying. I've said this before. All my subscribers, followers, commenters, viewers, you guys are my brothers. I view it as that, and I believe that. You know, it was great. I love the conversation. Great to have. Like I said, I've always believed that one of the biggest things is that men need to have a voice nowadays. We can't keep on just listening to, the things that women say, the things that women, believe. Men need to voice. Men need a voice because, again, we have an epidemic of single mothers. We have an epidemic of a matriarchy, in my opinion. Women constantly telling you their opinions, but we don't hear nothing about men. So we don't have, and I specifically geared towards average men because most men will be average. So we need to at least hear other men that are similar to us. Okay, because we are the ones who are always at the bottom, right? We're always at the bottom. We are always the ones who, everyone steps on because average men, blue collar men, good men, no one cares about us. So having a voice is very important. So we can speak out, give our opinions, give our thoughts, so other men know that they're not alone. One of the things that I've always felt and why I made this channel is that I want other men, good men, to know that they're not alone. To know that, you know what, you can voice your opinions. You should have thoughts. You have, it's good to have, good to, have feelings, right? Good to, just have a voice, right? So I'm very, very thankful that people do care, watch, and very thankful for that my brothers are joining. I love it. I love it. You guys are great. But thank you, Big Bar. I mean, I think that's it for tonight. I mean, 2 hours. I don't want to run, take up all your whole night. So I think it's awesome. If you guys like this panel thing, I think it's cool, right? It's nice to listen to other people's voices, right? So Big Bars, thank you for joining, my brother. Artie, thank you, my brother. Thank you. You guys are amazing, right? Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, we just gotta get more people to join the conversation, man. It was just a couple of us tonight, and shout out to y'all, man. And yeah, guys, just especially join the conversation. You don't have to have a channel. You don't have to make any videos, but definitely join communities, join channels, and be active in the conversation about it because something can come from it. But more importantly, it's a like you said, a brotherhood, and
exactly
that's the only thing that is for certain that I believe all men need.
Mm-hmm,
I can't guarantee a 20-year-old guy a woman or a 50-year-old guy a woman, but I can guarantee you that you'll have a brother in arms that will be there with you while he's here. You will have an existence with somebody. I can't guarantee it's gonna get you love, but join the conversation, man. And next time a panel or something comes up, join in, man. Talk. You ain't got to be on camera. I'm sitting in my car eating some McDonald's right now.
Yeah, no, you guys don't need to be on camera. It's all good. We got to talk. Just, it's good for all of us to get because we've grown up and think about, men need to always bottle it up. Okay. But here's the thing. Men can, and this is an environment, men can share with other men because we understand. Right? We're not going to use, how you feel, your thoughts and shit against you. So this is why I want to build a brotherhood. This is what I want to do, right? I want to build a brotherhood where we are men, we are freely can express our feelings and thoughts and views. I really want to build that.
Yeah. I just want to say that I think it was a nice little talk, nice little entry level talk. And I just think that really all we can do is, like I say, educate, have something to pass on to the youth. I grew up when they used to say, "I believe the children were the future." You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is to me. The children gotta be the future because they're the ones that's gonna have to deal with this crap. We might have to teach them how to, pretty much.
I agree. I agree. That's why I hope that, you know what, us as men can impart some kind of knowledge, some kind of opinions for, the future. So thank you guys. Thank you. You guys are amazing, right? I love you guys. You guys are my brothers. So again, I'm gonna be hopefully doing these panels maybe 2 times, maybe 1 time every month or so. Because again, like I said in the beginning, this is StreamYard, so I'm not paying for no big this is a hobby, right? So I just want us to have fun and just chat. So I'll probably do this every once in a while, but hopefully if you guys like it, definitely will do more of it. So you guys are amazing, right? Thank you guys for all joining, right?
Yeah,
Hope
yeah.
you guys have a good night.
All right, see y'all, man.
All right, my brothers. All right, Bars. Later, my brother. All right, guys. Like I said, right? Hopefully, if you guys thought the panel was good or was interesting, right? Because like I said, I want to create a brotherhood. So if you guys like it, join the next one, right? Join the next one. I'm down for it. I mean, just shooting the shit, right? It's just brothers, just talking and chilling and just voicing whatever opinions, whatever things we have in our brains, all right, on our mind. So hopefully you guys like it. All right, so later, guys.